Again, we're back here talking about bringing child trafficking to a complete end. And I'm here joined by ex senior vice president of Pepsi Cola, close friend of mine, Mr. Robert Mailer. We've been friends now going on what? We're 30 years now. We're 30 years
Yep.
deep.
Yep.
1995, we're all the way to 2025, and we've seen so many things. And I know, Robert, you've done a lot of business. You traveled all over the world. You've had all kind of experiences, and then over these years, we've dealt with orphanage schools. We've dealt with all types of things to try as we were building businesses to make a social impact. But then all of a sudden, we got in hearing about this child trafficking situation. And what did you think when you first started hearing about it, Robert?
Well, I've said it before. I heard about it first about 10, 12 years ago. I was living in Southwest Florida, and I was part of the Sanibel Captiva Islands Chamber of Commerce. And they had a woman come down from the DC, Maryland area who was part of a group that was trying to raise awareness about child trafficking.
Okay.
She's probably just down there on vacation in Florida, so she came in and did this little speech at a luncheon.
Right,
But
right.
I was shocked. I was shocked and appalled. I'm a pretty smart guy, and I think I'm fairly aware. And I tell you what, my head was underneath the covers all those years, not knowing this
Right.
was going on. So it really, really woke me up to it. And then, about a year ago, my significant other, Karen Butler, she got involved with a group of people who are funding nonprofits that are then finding people to go out and do these quote unquote missions. And they
Okay.
either grab
Right.
up the bad actors, the bad people, the dark folks that were doing heinous acts, or they actually rescue the kids who have been taken. And let's just hit this straight up. Right now in the state of California, where I happen to be living, they just did not allow a bill that would have come after people going after 16, 17, 18-year-olds in child trafficking.
It's crazy.
So I know it's still a minor under 18, but for some reason the 16, 17, 18 seems to be this whole different group. And they just, this legislature, which is leaning one way here, we all know in California, they is saying it's okay. And that's what people need to understand. The reason it's going on is because it kind of is okay. Not
This
to
is
you and
crazy.
me, not to humanity, not to ethics, not to morals,
Right.
but it has become okay in governments by high ranking individuals. So I think what you and I, Jay, what we're trying to do right now is we want to get this out of the shadows and put a
Yep.
huge spotlight on it and say, hey, this is going on and this is not okay to do.
Big shout out to awesome Sister Ashley and Hannah. They've come on and showing support. They've been great supporters of the movement. They have children of their own, so they know how important this is. I've got a child of my own. I know how important this is. Listen, shout out to Mr. Nafis is on here too.
Yeah.
And a
Yep.
lot of the people that are going to watch this, you're going to be watching on the replay. What we want you to do is go over to jforkids.com. There's an incredible video on there. It's less than 30 minutes with me and the founder for veterans for child rescue. You're going to be shocked at this 30 minutes. He's an ex-Navy SEAL. Is just off the charts in his experience and stature. And I'm gonna play a little bit of clip from him while we're here today. But Robert, I'm just getting every time we do these, I want to pull out some stats because these are jokes. These statistics are jokes. And if you got children or if you want to protect the children, you got to be aware of this crazy stuff that's going on. Trafficking disguised as orphan care. And that's a big deal. In several countries, children are falsely labeled as orphans only to be funneled through fake adoption agencies and voluntourism schemes, a practice known as orphan trafficking. Many of these children have living family members, but they get exploited for profit. So their families are selling them, Robert, and having them guys as orphans, and they're getting sex trafficked. And we're talking about young children. Shout out to Brandon coming in here. So we got to do something about it. Check this out. Tech savvy predators exploiting gaming platforms. Child traffickers are increasingly using popular online gaming and social media platforms to groom and recruit children. They hide behind, listen to this, avatars, those little cute avatars. And in chat rooms where monitoring is minimal and trust is easily built. So that's a warning for all parents that you have children that's involved in gaming. They'll get slid over into the what? Chat rooms, and there's this cute avatar, but behind the avatar is a monster that wants to groom them to sex traffic them. And so we've got to make it aware. And if you don't think, hey, if you don't think this is true, Craig and his team, they put together an awesome documentary. Maybe talk about that a little bit, Robert, and tell people how they can listen to that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a documentary movie called The Sound of Freedom. And I'm telling you, it is not for the faint of heart. I mean, if you're gonna watch it, know that you're gonna cry, you're gonna get choked up, you're gonna feel horrible. You may want to take a shower afterwards. I mean, it's dirty, it's heinous, but it goes through the data, and you can see it. You can see it for free on Amazon, on YouTube, or on Apple TV. So Amazon, YouTube, or Apple TV, Sound of Freedom. So check that out. But I mean, it's just when you were just saying those couple stats and those couple things. I mean, it's just these people are just so dark and heinous. They're so diabolical. But they're not necessarily they're bad individuals with a poor heart, obviously, terrible ethics and humanity. But they're also involved in it because it's a $250 billion industry that so many people have allowed to occur. Like I just said, and I'm not pointing fingers, and I don't want to have a helicopter fly over my house in the next 30 minutes.
Right.
But I'm telling you, the government is complicit, and there are a lot of high-ranking people, both publicly and in public office, but also actors, actresses. I mean, sports figures. I mean, they're out there. And why? Those people have the issues. Okay, those people have the issues because they're the one that want to actually be involved in the sex inning. But the people who are actually running the businesses, they're running a $250 billion business, and there's really no hurt or harm coming to them. So that's why we need a group like Veterans for Child Rescue. These people, ex-Navy SEAL, former police officers, former government officials who, they know how to go and do a mission. They know how to go create a sting. They know how to save and rescue, and they're willing to put themselves on the line to go do it. And and thank heavens that these individuals exist. They're the angels that are fighting against the devils. And our whole deal with jforkids.com is please just give what you can. And because 70% of what you give is tax deductible. So if you do the math, that also means that 70% of what you give is going straight to those guys doing the work. The other 30% is administrative stuff of them living and whatever else they're doing. But 70% of the actual money is being used to either snare people or save people. And we just haven't found anybody else that's doing such incredible work. And all we need to do is just help them do another few missions every month. If they're able to go do a couple more missions every month, how many, because catching just one bad individual, that bad individual probably does 10, 20 heinous acts.
Yes.
So if you get rid of one, it's not just one, you're saving possibly hundreds of kids, hundreds, maybe thousands.
You know what I want to do, Robert? I want to show this quick movie trailer for Sound of Freedom. It's just a couple of minutes, just to kind of, because our people are behind the movie. They produced the movie. So when you go to jforkids.com, you help finance things like this. So let's take a look here on the screen. Can you see that on the screen, Robert?
I see the screen.
Okay, let's take a look here. And you guys tell me what you think. Can you hear that, Robert? Just want to make sure you hear it first.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
How'd that make you feel? Giving a child his freedom.
Felt good.
You have been at this for 12 years.
My country 'tis of thee.
Why are you doing it?
Sweet land of liberty.
Because God's children are not for sale. It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
We're Homeland Security. You know we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
This job tears you to pieces.
And where my fathers died,
And this is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
land of the pilgrims
And yet somehow you have failed to bring me one real-world lead.
It's over, Tim. Close up and come back home.
So you quit your job and you go and rescue those kids.
Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring.
South of that river is all rebel territory. No one goes in.
What if this was your daughter?
So, she's gone.
Let freedom ring.
Hear that? That's the sound of freedom.
Wow, Robert, what do you think?
Choked me up. Two things that I notice every time is it's from Angel Studios, so that's pretty well thought out, and it premiered on July 4th, the day of independence, the day of freedom. So these guys aren't messing around. I mean, it's a true calling, and it's something that really has to be done, and we've got to support it.
So we're making a big difference, guys, in this. So just make sure that everybody, do something. Go to jforkids.com. That's a little URL I bought that goes straight over to the Veterans for Child Rescue site. But if you think about all the things that are happening, how all the angles they're coming at these children, you're talking about climate disaster driving exploitation. In developing nations, the climate change induced disasters like floods and droughts are displacing families, making children more vulnerable to traffickers who prey on desperation and displacement. Another big trafficking with children that's going to make y'all sick, but it should motivate you to want to make a difference, is children organ trafficking is way on the rise. In some regions, trafficked children are not only forced into labor, so hard labor, or sex trades, but they're also targeted for illegal organ harvesting. So they kill them, take the organs out, sell the organs. Just treat them like they're just nothing, So we're getting on top of this. Now I'm going to show you a quick clip from interview I did. Just want to show just a piece of this with Craig Sawyer and his COO, Forrest Seeley. I just want to show you just a quick snap of that to just kind of let you guys kind of feel him so you know what's going on and why you should be involved. Check this out right here. All right.
Spiritual that you have to recognize, because with your typical badge and gun investigations, what you're going to find, you are just going to be forever confounded, staggering around in figure eights, never able to find what's right under your nose, because there's a layer of this that you're not accounting for. It is spiritual. And until you engage it on that level, you will have no significant effect ever. And I'm like, oh, I know they're telling the truth. I knew from my daddy, David Sawyer, about spiritual warfare. And I knew I could tell they knew what they were talking about, and it was true. And I thought, I've had millions of dollars spent training me. I've been to 60 countries around the world. I've been and lived in war zones, and I eat, breathe, and just execute this violence for righteous reasons all over the place. I'm, to be considered a master at conflict, and I'm like, not this type of conflict. Shame on me. Wow. I've wasted these decades, right? So this is a conflict between the Almighty and Satan. And so I realized I have a lot of growing to do spiritually if I mean to be useful in this fight. And I had to be useful, Jay. So then there goes the ego, right? You think you're cool? You're nobody in this league. You have nothing. You have nothing. So I threw myself on my face. I begged to allow me to serve and fight, because I had to. I begged him like a pathetic, I don't know I was just begging him profusely, probably just to get rid of me. It just said, okay, son, I'll help you and I'll raise you up and I'll teach you. Because I'm tired of hearing you begging me.
I hear you beg me to do this.
But I've grown so much, and he brings, when we're obedient, when we step out of the way and say, Father, you work. Let me know what you mean to do, and let me be the vessel, and it shall be done, whatever that is.
So you're talking about 10 years you've been on this front line.
Well, for 3 years, so I've been doing about a decade of film and television while I was coming back and forth from the war zones, working in the intelligence community, running high-threat mobile security for Department of State and for the intel community, moving their senior officials around the war zones to keep them off of Al Jazeera and the evening news, an orange jumpsuit or worse. So in the film and television industry, I reached out to all my executives, the most powerful ones that had done work like what I would consider high-threat documentary film work, and hey, I got exposed to child trafficking. We got to let the people know so that they can defend their children and fight back. Oh, yeah, Craig. Absolutely. Let's do that. Well, 3 years later, I realized they were all shining me on. None of them were going to do anything. They were never going to get around to it.
They were just kind of yesing you, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I began crying out to other friends, and they're like, well, that's a rancid industry. They're never going to do anything because that industry of film and television is soaking in it. And half of it probably complicit, even though they're nice to you. And I'm like, well, what can I do? And they said, well, I just wanted to make a documentary. I felt like, Jay, if I made the documentary Contraland, and it would start flipping tables over, legally speaking, and drive that evil from our nation. Well, I gave people too much credit. They don't have that level of moral courage because they don't know the Father. And so they're fearful in their own power. They know they can't stand up against the machine by themselves. So they're fearful. They turn away in cowardice. So that was painful to recognize when we rolled Contraland out. But I had to found a nonprofit organization, Veterans for Child Rescue, just to rally the funding to make the documentary so that we could inform the people and generate a cultural change to spare all of the rest of the children.
So Contraland has been made and it's been out.
Yes, sir. Yeah, 2020 it aired.
2020 it came out.
Yes, sir. And so it aired to 90 million households in the U.S. and Canada on Daystar TV network. Okay. We're so grateful for that, and we've got a radio station, a radio show. We've got 2 TV shows. We've got billboard placement, NASCAR placement, public speaking, social media campaigns, flyers, you name it. We're just trying to saturate the American people with the knowledge that empowers them against this assault on our nation and on our little ones, so that we can all just protect the little ones from it and end the harm. Just stop the madness, please. And so that's what we do, man. We fight.
Well, that's what attracted me to you guys, and how does the veteran part play into this?
Yeah. Well, I am a veteran. Most of the people on our board who are helping me are veterans of military and law enforcement. We got admirals and generals and high-ranking people in different agencies that I've known and met throughout the journey to prepare me for what he knew I was going to have at the end of my life here. And so there's something for everybody to contribute. And we run joint sting operations with federal and local law enforcement. So up to 9 agencies at a time running these sting operations. And we put out benign ads or social media pages or children on games, you name it, but all benign, just innocent. And the predators come for the children. They stalk them. They hunt them online.
So you guys see this happening continuously. Y'all see it with your own eyes.
Oh, yeah. And I don't care how hard a person anybody thinks they are. Look, I'm a hardened combat veteran. This will punch you right in the gut when you see how many predators will come for an innocent profile of a child.
Like how old? Give me like a something.
Let's say 12 years old.
12 years old.
Little girl, Hi, I'm new here, and my name's Sally, and I like dogs or butterflies or kittens or whatever. I just, I like art or whatever the child is into. Any sort of presence online, they get hit with, "Hey, so what's going on? Hi." Benign one or two approaches, and then the next one's sexual. Next sentence, sexual. Wow. And then within minutes, it's abusive and vile, and you're like, wait a minute, what human would want to have a conversation about being harmed? There's nothing gratifying or beautiful or loving about it. It's very fun. These are predators, sick people in their mind, hunting children to unload their sexual lust on. So it's just deeply disturbing to see what they will write to children. And then to see what the imagery that they'll show. They'll take.
How many roundabout of these have y'all seen? How many roundabout of these? 1 second, Rob. Is this crazy or what?
Okay, let me tell you this. In the first person we ran was in Guilford, Connecticut.
Got it, Robert. What are you thinking, man? What are you thinking?
Man, I've heard this I don't know how many times, and like Craig says, it hits you in the gut every darn time. I mean, it's unbelievable. And again, that's why I believe that it's our job to shine a light on it, because these people are operating in the shadows. They're operating in deep, dark places, and unfortunately, they're being supported by some pretty powerful people. So we've got to shine this light. And the bottom line is, if you go to jforkids.com, you can donate, and you can donate one time, you can donate recurring, whatever you set up, you can change it the next day. I mean, so you're not locked into anything, but it's just a really, really simple process. The money goes straight from jforkids.com directly to Veterans for Child Rescue. So it's all in real time, and it's just the more we can do. I mean, I use this example all the time. For $1 a day, so that's $30 a month. That's maybe not going to Starbucks 4 times out of the month. So for $30 a month, we had 1,000 people, and because I'm also asking everybody that's here listening, thank you so much. But please push this out into your social media groups. Push this out. Ask other people to push it out, because we need millions of people to be aware of this and millions of people to be watching this. But if we just have 1,000 people giving $1 a day, that's 18 more missions a year that can be run, because that's $30,000 a month. That's a mission and a half every month. So that's another mission and a half. And as I said earlier, stopping one bad actor could be stopping 40, 50, 60, 70 heinous acts. Could be saving hundreds of children just getting one person. And some of these stings ensnare a lot of them. So you have no idea the power that we can all have, just a little from a lot. And we just appreciate each and every one of you. And please push this out so more people hear this and are affected by it just as much as I am right now. I mean, I'm pretty highly affected this very moment.
I mean, it's crazy, man, when you think about, what's going on and what we can do, what we can be a part of. Like you saw the Sound of Freedom, and you heard about Craig, the one that the documentary they personally put out in 2020, Contraland. I'm gonna show that little quick trailer of that too, because I want y'all to see the multiple angles of what's going on. Now you got to meet Craig. You can see his passion, and he can see that he's begging to be able to be used. He's been in all those war zones, telling how much killing that he's seen. And now he's seeing that this travesty is helping the children. He can use his skill set, his mindset, to go into that war against these type of trafficking. So I want to share this with y'all, because it's for y'all to see. It's another little trailer, then we'll wrap this up. But I want everybody to get a good feel about what we got here and what we got our hands on and what we can make an impact. So this is the gentleman that you just heard talking. This is their trailer.
There are about 75 cartel organizations that are controlling and trafficking women and children. Now, this is slavery. These children come from our families. It's evil.
I don't ever feel like I'm going to be the same. I feel marked.
How much is 2 girls for a half hour?
I really wanted my mom to love me. And I also didn't want her to be sick.
I'll do it for 150.
It's so common that no matter what town you're in, you could probably go within a couple blocks and find a victim or a perpetrator of child trafficking.
Hi, how are you? Very nice to meet you.
The sexual exploitation of children has increased exponentially.
It begins with a glance, with a kind word, with a conversation, and pretty soon you've developed this relationship.
No family deserves to have this happen in their life. You're never the same. Never.
Real men do not prey upon defenseless and precious children. Knock it off, or we're coming for you. We must not be tolerant of that which will kill us or that which will destroy our children. We can't be a network of people that says no more by ourselves.
The stories are something that the general public will never even imagine could happen. As long as there is supply, demand, it will never end.
What do you think, Robert? What do you think? Fam, what do y'all think? Anybody's watching live? And would you put something in the chat? I mean, when you see that, what are y'all thinking? I mean, what's coming?
I go back to Craig's words. As you said, he has been at the highest level, or maybe what you want to call the lowest level of human conduct when it comes to war. He's probably seen things that none of us could even imagine seeing. And when you think of his words, that when he was exposed to what's going on in this industry, child trafficking, and that was a gut punch to him with everything that he's already seen, that tells you how bad it is, and that should just motivate each and every one of us to do anything we possibly can.
Y'all get motivated on it, fam. Yeah, y'all seen it. So when you saw them busting in, that's a sting. Yep. And what we're saying is, Robert, how much does it cost to do that one sting?
Generally about $20,000.
It's about $20,000. So what we want to build up to here is have a community where we're getting at least one sting funded per month. That's the goal. That's our first step. And then we have Craig and the team. They'll say this sting is sponsored by the J for Kids community. Can y'all imagine how that's going to make you feel? I mean, so like Robert said, everybody's pitching in a few dollars here, but we get hundreds, then we get thousands of people just pitching in. You go on about your day, go on about your life, right? Go on about what you want to do, but don't ignore that there's people right now, today, they got boots on the ground, setting up another sting operation. That's going on right now. That's what they do. That's their life. That's their organization. They have a company. Imagine that's their company is doing them sting operations to tear down this heinous industry. So, Robert, any parting words?
Hey, I just want to say, you can go to Jay's Facebook page. You can go to my Facebook page, Robert Mailer. You can go to my LinkedIn page. This recording and all recordings that we do every week, they're all on there. Please push those back out to all of your people, because it's out. 10 makes 100, 100 makes 1,000. And then it's just a little from a lot, and we can make a difference. But we've got to shine that light. We've got to expose, and then we got to take action. And I appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, hey, there's a scripture talks about, do not forget the orphans and the widows, and that goes with the children. When he says the orphan, we're talking about the children, because when they get sex trafficked or human trafficked or labor trafficked, now they're in an orphan type situation. They're away from mom, they're away from dad, and now they're sitting there all alone, scared, with a big old man or woman over top of them, wanting to violate them. That's it. We got to do something about it. So Robert and I, we're going to continue to come on here with these messages. We want y'all to share it out to other people. Go get 5 people to just, contribute a little bit. Ask your mom, ask your dad, ask your aunt, give them the link, jforkids.com. Have them watch the whole interview. Go watch the movie Contraland and get your socks blown off. And then I'm attached directly to that organization. Imagine that. That's where y'all at now. We got y'all hooked up. Thankful to Karen, Robert's girlfriend and significant other. She got a direct contact in with them, introduced me and Robert, and now we're running with it. Now we're leveraging our communities to make an impact. We appreciate everybody that supported so far. That's going to continue to support. That's going to continue to spread the word. Thank y'all for chiming in today. Share this video out with some folks. Tag some people and say, hey, did you know this is going on? And we can make a difference. Did you know this is going on? And we can make a difference. Thank y'all for joining.